I've had a few questions about our free online assessment, so I thought I'd make a quick behind the scenes video and explain what it is, how it works, and why it matters. Effectively, this is all about inverting the iceberg of ignorance. The further you are from the front line, the further you are from operations, the harder it is to know what's going on because you're more disconnected. We see this time and time again, tripping up organizations where they have great ideas, great strategy, but they fall over in the implementation. In mining, that's typically in guidance downgrades, missed guidance, or potentially worse with incidents. This assessment is all about surfacing what you can't see. It's all about assessing the system, not the symptoms. In a high-performing organization, there are 5 fundamentals that you need to do well in order to be consistent, reliable, and growing. What this assessment does is it is a reality check. To give you an example of why capability is important, if I was a highly gifted athlete, but I never trained, I'd have huge potential, but my performance would not reflect that comparative to my peers. And so the results would sit at the intersection of my potential and my performance. And mining is no different. You can have great strategies, great ideas, great sites, but if you don't have the operational capability, the operational maturity to deliver on that, then it's all for nothing. That's what this assessment does. It highlights the operational maturity and areas that might be weak in the 5 fundamentals. And so if we look at ambition or potential without the ability to execute, we end up with 4 quadrants, and we call these the performance quadrants. Unfortunately, most sites sit in a state of missed guidance because they have great ideas, great strategy, but they fail to consistently execute them because they're stuck in a state of operational chaos, in turbulence, in firefighting, pillage and plunder, robbing Peter to pay Paul. So if I jump in now and launch the assessment, it's 6 questions. I just need to fill out my name, my email, and a few demographic questions. I'm just going to make this up. And simply just select all that apply. You can select 3 here, or select 2 here, 2, 3 here, 1 here, 3 again, and do 2 here, and submit. And that's it. In the background, it's all driven by make.com. You filled out the survey, it gets pushed into Coda, which is the brains behind this. It looks at the results and it generates the report. From there, it's taken from Coda and pushed into a database on our website, and it's all completely anonymized. It doesn't have your name or your email. It just has a unique reference against it. And we simply send you an email. There's no lists or there's no spam. And so that email, it's got that unique code. And then that takes you to your page with your results. So let's go through the results. I talked about the fact that capability is how you bridge potential and performance. And in mining, that results in profit. Here are the results across those 5 fundamentals. I can instantly see where I'm strong and where I'm weak. We go into each of those fundamentals. So you get your score, a definition of what it is, why it matters, and 3 different ways that you can improve each one. So where you might be weak, there are some ideas on what you can start implementing today to improve that. It's all about going from chaos to control. The capability curve is how we measure operational maturity or operational capability, the ability to consistently and reliably execute strategy. And we measure that on a scale of innocence to excellence. And where you ideally need to be, the sweet spot, is capable. And what we tend to find is that most sites sit in this turbulent zone. They're aware of it, they understand it, but they're not quite getting there. They're not doing it consistently and reliably. And so it relies on heroics, it relies on workarounds. If you have a big mismatch between different areas, it can actually bring your score down because you've got this maelstrom that's limiting your potential. That's what that second graph assesses for. Is I talked before about the performance quadrants. Here you can see that the organization is strategically ambitious. They want to grow, but lack the capability, the maturity to execute that. This, unfortunately, is where we see most mine sites. Accenture did a 5-year study and found that over the 5 years, 61% of miners globally missed their targets, their own targets, the targets they set themselves, their quarterly guidance. This is a big problem in the industry and part of the reason why the industry keeps falling short. This is just our free assessment. In our detailed diagnostic, we go through the value chain of the 7 steps of turning strategy into dollars in the bank, and we look at where value is leaking in each stage, or potentially in the interactions between each stage. As you've seen, is all completely free. I'll put the link below. We don't add you to any email lists, we don't spam you. It's simply a free self-assessment so you can benchmark where you are against the industry standard.